One of the things that I don't take for granted is the ability that ability that I've been given to come here to speak with you. So I thank John and the officers for allowing me this opportunity. I will try to keep it short and sweet. We do have some PowerPoint presentation or a PowerPoint presentation for you to follow along if you so desire. For those of you who do not know my background, I worked for the Nebraska PGA for 21 years as their executive director, and did that until 2009. And so now I've started my fourth year working for the PGA of America as your employment consultant. Last year there was a change in regards to the territories that we cover, and I no longer have Wisconsin. I now have Iowa and the Midwest section, as well as what Peter just introduced me as. So those are the sections that I do cover for the PGA related to employment. One of the things I would like to have you do is look at your 2012 PGA compensation survey. Our goal is always to complete this at 100%, and currently the Minnesota section ranks 19th, but the percentages are kind of a moot point because you're doing really well at 92% of your membership. And so, or 64%, I'm sorry, there's another slide later on, but 64% is still a good number. We would like to see that get up a little bit more. As it states on the slide, only 4.2% gets you into that top 10. This is a tool that I use primarily with employers who are working with me when we're setting up a job. They want to know what the, quote, average compensation is for a like facility. And so from a standpoint of how it benefits you, it benefits me when talking with a facility. We always try to keep the job, at a level which is hopefully makes you employable. And it's a difficult task sometimes in the marketplace today, as we all know. But we will hopefully get some more participation from you when it relates to this compensation survey. Starting in about another week or so, you're going to be getting via email the update for the 2013 CareerLinks profile. This tool is the only thing that you have in front of you that will allow you to receive the job notifications. So between now and December 31, you need to fill out and update the new PGA CareerLinks profile. If you don't fill that out, you will no longer receive any postings that we do. Don't want that to sound ominous or threatening. That's just a fact that you will have to complete that. So in order for you to continue to receive any notifications that I post, you need to fill out your CareerLinks profile. This is where the section's doing well. I mean, you guys are doing great and gals are doing great in regards to your profiles, but we sure would like to see 100% participation in that as well. So any questions related to your profile, please give me a call. One of the things that I try to do when I work with PGA members is to look at your profile and how it shapes up. Never put Minnesota as your #1 relocation preference. That's a wasted pick. You're already here. You don't need to relocate to Minnesota. Okay? So don't put Minnesota as your #1 relocation preference. You love it here enough, you don't need to love it any more than that. It's as good as it's going to get when you put it as your #1 relocation preference. It's the same with any sections. Wherever you reside, that's like a wasted choice. So you now have the ability to go deeper down into the relocation preferences. So you can put those down, and then we will attempt to identify you. People ask me, well, what's the possibility of me getting a job in the Carolinas or the Southwest section or SoCal? And I have to be honest, sometimes it's not very good. The Carolinas section has about approximately 2,000 PGA members and apprentices. So when there's a job posting in the Carolinas, my fellow colleague Dick Brado primarily just has to use the Carolinas PGA members to identify for that position. That's just a numbers game. There are so many PGA members there that he doesn't really have to reach out further. So even though you may have the Carolinas as your #1 reload preference, that doesn't guarantee you that you're going to see a Carolinas PGA job bulletin, because oftentimes they don't reach out further than the section in which the job is posted. That's just a fact. If you disagree with that, feel free to talk to me, and I probably won't satisfy what you're wanting to tell me, but at least we can communicate and talk about that. Okay, there were 8 postings for management positions this year for the Minnesota section. 1 position was canceled, 1 is on hold, and 1 was filled with a non-PGA hire. And if these individuals are in the room, I guess I would like them to stand so we can put a face with a name, because I know one of the benefits of being in a section like Minnesota is you're very welcoming. You like to see who people are. And so if you are in the room, we would like you to stand and be recognized. From Legacy Golf, of course, we have Jeff Hygro. Jeff, welcome. Don't want to clap or anything. We're trying to speed this up. What are you doing? Okay, Thumper Pond in Otter Tail, Dave Sadlowski. Congratulations, Dave. Westward Ho hired a new general manager, Tim Walton. Is Tim in the room? At Oak Glen, Caleb Turbeck. There he is. Congratulations, Caleb. And the one you've all been waiting for. Oh, that has question marks. Hasn't happened yet. So very close, from what I understand, in regards to naming the new PGA professional at Hazeltine National. So that announcement, I would imagine, will be forthcoming. One of the things I would urge all of the managers, all the PGA professionals that are in management positions, is to utilize PGA Job Finder when you're posting positions for an apprentice at your facility. These are for non-management positions, so please try to utilize the PGA Job Finder tool. A lot of times I get phone calls from apprentices asking me about, what are the chances of jobs, in the section. And I say, well, we can only look at the postings that are afforded us by you as the employer. So in order to make sure that you're getting, a pool of candidates, I would urge you to keep using PGA Job Finder to the best of your ability. One of the things that we've been talking about today, and a lot of times we just call it Golf 2.0, and I like to refer to it in a more real term, and that's just player development. It's what you do. It's what you do at your facility day in and day out. But the PGA of America has really embarked upon, a very concentrated effort now to make Golf 2.0 player development more relevant. So this was all talked about. You're doing a great job in regards to your section regarding this, but we can always do better. So those are the 3 main pillars that the PGA outlined: protect the core, engage the lapsed, and develop new players. This statistic, though, that is right underneath here is a pretty telling statistic. Core golfers are defined as someone that plays 8 rounds or more. Back in 2005, there were 18 million core golfers. The core golfer comprises 94% of the rounds. In 2011, the core golfer dropped to 14.4 million. So what we have to do to fix that problem is attack it. We have to come up with a plan, and that plan has to be where we look in the mirror and we just say, what can I do at my facility to try to increase the rounds that are played? But with that said, you're going to say, well, Bruce, you just said that the core golfer is the one that comprises the bulk of this. So there's one thing that I think you can control at your facility, and that's your customer. If you look across, our business model, that's who we are about. We're there to to help our customers. So do everything you can to control that customer and get him to be part, of his mindset when he's thinking about golf. He's thinking about, J.D. Dremmel at his golf course. That's what we want you to do. We want you to have that much impact, at your facility. We all know J.D. has that impact already. So Golf 2.0 player development is personal. If it's not the PGA member who grows the game of golf, then who? If it's not now, then when? That was coined by our president, Alan Ranowski, at last year's annual meeting in Boston. And I just think it's so appropriate in regards to what we're trying to do when we're talking about player development. This was also an interesting survey that was done by someone by the name of Ian James, who's got a company called Retail Tribe. I think some of you have probably heard about that. But how simple is this when he did the questions? The top 3 responses as to what would get you to play more golf. Just hit more good shots, have fun with friends, and then shoot a lower score. That's what we do. That's what we do as a living. That's what we do the best. And so let's keep trying to make sure that we're keeping that at the forefront in regards to what we're doing in our positions. One of the things JD also mentioned is the first item that I have, the first bullet point. Prepare a report to your employer. We call this the PGA Professional Report. It's online, it's at pgalinks.com. You click on employment, you go to the top, there's a box up there. It's called the PGA Professional Report. Don't think just by osmosis that your employer is going to know what a great job you've done. You've got to tell the story. This is a tool, again, that you can utilize that will put it into a form that looks very professional, that you can present to your employer to show them what a great job you've done. I think I might have shared this story, and sometimes I'm getting old, so I might be redundant, but I had a professional tell me last year, he said, Bruce, if I had done that PGA Professional Report, I think I would have saved my job. He was let go. He said, they knew I was doing those things, but I didn't tell them. And even if they did know them, I still should have expounded upon it. I should have told them more about what I had been doing. So that is something that I really want you to think about is telling your story. Put that plan into action, put together a PGA Professional Report. I'm going to skip over the rest because I know John's looking at me like, Bruce, get off the stage. What I want you to do, and JD mentioned this, I want you to think about me when it comes to helping you. I want to be that individual that shows I care, that shows that you've got an ear for somebody to listen to when you're having any situations. But I cannot help you unless you talk to me. The biggest thing that I have a problem with sometimes is people expect me to perform a miracle when somebody's in trouble at a club, and I can't help you unless I'm told or offer any assistance to you unless I know there's a problem. Now, that sometimes may be too late, I get that, but let's communicate. Let's try and work together in regards to if you're having any difficulty, I'll be there. I'll try and mediate. I'll do whatever I can to help you in regards to your employment situation. Another thing that your past president mentioned was the ability that we want to try to look at non-PGA facilities across the section. Now, so many times, you know better than I do in regards to what's viable as far as an employment opportunity. If it truly was viable, you may have already tried to reach out for an assistant that you may have or somebody else. But if that isn't the case, please contact me, and I will try to reach out to that facility to see if we do think it's viable and we can make it happen. JD also mentioned something called performance track. That's an area that is so easily done, and again, you get some MSR credits for doing that. So if your section can elevate itself a little bit in regards to what you're doing related to performance track, I think it would help the Minnesota section. So again, we're giving you lots of assignments, talking about the profile, we're talking about compensation surveys, we're talking about PGA professional reports. But during your off season, now's the time to look at some of that and try and improve upon that. I want to applaud the section in regards to what you're doing for Special Olympics. That's something that in Nebraska a couple of years ago, they had the national games there. I was involved with that, and that is an area that my hat is off to you for what you're doing with Special Olympics. It's a great thing. I did attend the Dakota chapter meeting. I got to see my first snowfall on October 4. That was a treat. Went outside. The rental car that I had no brushes or anything with me. I'm thinking I'm going up to Fargo. What could happen in Fargo October 4? It's not going to snow. But my sleeve and hand worked real well at 6:30 in the morning, dusting my car off. But that's a great group of PGA professionals up there that are part of your section. I will do whatever I can to get up there in the spring and the fall, at times to meet with them as well. Again, my name is up there, my cell phone number. I didn't put my email address up there. So it's, again, as Chris Thompson said, it's just my first initial B with the last name Lubach, which is up there at pgahq.com. Thank you very much. It's been a joy and a privilege to come up here to the Minnesota section, and I look forward to my continued work with you. Take care.